what degree you'll ultimately graduate with, but it seems like it's going to be a business degree. Do you find that your experience working, and you've worked in restaurants, you've worked in an office setting, you worked in childcare, so you've already at 18 had a few different work environments. Did you find your freshman year that helped you at all in terms of the coursework?
I don't know if I would say in terms of the coursework. However, I think it helped me in terms of time management and just being responsible. I think because I always worked, I was very careful about how I spent my money when I got to college, and for a while I didn't have any income coming in, and I was cautious about my spending. But I think that working and having multiple jobs taught me a lot about time management. It helped me understand timelines and deadlines and what hours I do my best work in. So maybe not in terms of coursework, in terms of the homework and the tests and everything, but just kind of having an adult-like understanding of this is the time that I have, this is what I have to do. I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to organize my time and try and get the best results that I can.
Those are great life skills, and I'm glad you said that, because my follow-up question was going to be on the time management side. I think your business experiences working will translate more into coursework as you get deeper into your business classes, whereas as a freshman, a lot of your courses were foundational, core curriculum. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. So, so far in the conversation, looking at your notes, these are areas that largely we agreed on that you wanted to provide some additional insights into. But there were some other areas that you how would I say, disagree, not so much disagree, but had an alternative viewpoint on. And so one of the things your mom and I talked about is sharing information with kids. What's age appropriate to share with about money, whether it's spending habits, debt, income, assets, things like that. And I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that you find us to be more secretive than you would prefer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think there's a lot of times that I remember growing up where we were all in the kitchen or in the living room, or, in the morning we would come down into your office. You and Mom would often be in there in the mornings, and you guys would say to me or Dominic, hey guys, we're having a conversation right now. Can you go somewhere else in the house? We'll come out in a few minutes and talk to you. I remember a lot of circumstances throughout the past 18 years of my life that you guys were having conversations. We stepped into the environment that you were in, and you guys just said, hey, we're having a conversation here. Do you mind just giving us a few minutes? We'll be out in a few. And that happened a lot. And I think as I got older, I almost feel like it got more, I don't want to say secretive, but you guys made somewhat of an effort to make sure that I can't speak for Dominic, was not around and was not able to hear your conversations regarding money and the business and finances.
So when Lindy and I spoke, it was great because it's a contrast. Lindy and I we work great together, and we have an awesome relationship work-wise as well as friendship. And it was really terrific for her and I to talk, because in so many ways, the way we handle money with our spouses is with our children is so different. And she's way more open with her two children. So her daughter's a little younger than you, and her son's a little older than Dominic. So similar ages, they're kind of bracketed together. And so let me ask you this. What would you want to know that you don't know? And so that would be the first question. I mean, what I wouldn't describe us as secretive, but I think private is more of a word that I would use.
I would agree.
And I would agree that we are that way. But, we're first-time parents. You're our oldest. We don't really know what we're doing. My parents were super secretive. Joelle's parents were super secretive, or private, not to use the secretive word. So what would you want to know?
I don't know. I never really thought about it because I was never exposed to it. I mean, I think I have no idea how much you make. And I know Mom has been more of a stay-at-home mom throughout the year. She helps a lot within Elliott Wealth,
sure,
while doing some other things on the side. So I don't think her income is shown as much in numbers as much as what she's done for you.
Okay.
But in terms of you, I have no idea how much money comes into our household on a monthly, yearly, quarterly basis.
Okay, so here's my question, because you wrote down, you guys have been more secretive than I would have liked. And again, that was in response to my conversation with your mom when we did the podcast, and then probably in response to my conversation with Lindy, where she expressed how much more open she is with her son and daughter. Why would you need to know that? In other words, what would that do for you?
I think we've been very blessed. I don't know if we've ever had a lot of financial struggles where we've ever been at the point where we were not doing well or we were in jeopardy of not living the life that we are blessed to live. But I think as you get older, sometimes parents want to hide struggles from kids. And I think I'm at the point where if we ever were in financial trouble or were in jeopardy of being in financial trouble, I think I would want to be aware because it would change my lifestyle.
Okay.
It would change, my going to school, my shopping, my car,
Okay.
And I also think that this might be different if you had a child who was going into the medical field or to teaching. But because of my business interest, I think it's stuff that genuinely interests me, and I think that I would really enjoy hearing about how you guys built up your finances, how you guys chose to invest your money, not necessarily on a numbers basis of what exactly the numbers are, but just the strategies that you guys used, how you made your decisions, why you made those decisions, what you guys hope for me in the future.
So listeners, that was a pretty good answer, no? Wow. I think I'm convinced that I should be less private. That was pretty good. I think that's very fair, and maybe not on the podcast, but I could share some because we had a lot of decisions to make over the course of a lifetime of marriage. That sounded bad. We'll be married 26 years in August, and so there's been a lot of decisions about my career, whether I would work for somebody or to be independent, and I've been in different business models, and some of those have been really terrific. Others have been mistakes, and we have had hardships, and we've had a lot of decisions we've had to make, forks in the road, and also with your mom, who has an unbelievable college degree, and the decision-making involved with her giving up her career to be more of a stay-at-home mom, not because she didn't have good choices, but because of what she wanted to choose to do family-wise. And, as a small business owner, there have been lean times. We've never been where we were at risk of living in a car or losing our house or being evicted, but there's certainly been difficult times, especially when mistakes were made. And so I think sharing that family history with you makes sense because you're going to be faced some way, shape, or form with similar instances because most of us are. There's obstacles, there's hardships, we're all going to make mistakes. So again, your answer was a great one. Moving along, another thing that you had mentioned was that we said you weren't investing yet and you wanted to get on the record that
I am investing.
She began investing, and
the day of my 18th birthday, I begged you to let me invest.
Okay, and just listeners, I'm a certified financial planner. I've been in the business 26 years. I've helped people win with money the entirety of my career. But you decided to open up an app. It's
Yes.
Robinhood, right?
Yes.
And where did you get the idea from? From your father?
No.
No. Who'd you get the idea from?
I don't even remember. It was someone that I went to high school with that told me about it.
Yeah, it was somebody from
Somebody
DECA?
from DECA. I don't remember who.
Okay. And so as soon as she turned 18, she decided to open up one of these online investing accounts that really is meant to accommodate people that are just starting out and have small amounts of money to invest. I imagine you could invest more amounts, but their target market is smaller amounts of money. And there is a flaw with Robinhood, though, right? Because what do you have to give up to use Robinhood?
It's like the privacy on your phone. I think they can kind of, I don't want to say track your phone, but
it's pretty invasive. You're giving away a lot of your privacy because they want to collect the data to help them market that data to generate revenue. And so they'll offer a nice platform, small investment amounts. It's very low cost, but you are trading privacy, and it's user friendly. And there are a few versions of this out there, not that I'm endorsing any of them, but she decided to use Robinhood. There's also Stash. There's Acorn. There might be a couple of others, but
a few others.
I think those are the big three.
I would like to say, though, while I am using Robinhood, and I think will continue to use it, I haven't been investing lately, actually, but will continue to use it throughout college, but I do think that when the time comes that I'm ready to start playing around with some bigger amounts of money, that I will turn to my dad, the financial planner, and find out some better ways to invest.
No, I was saying that jokingly. I think it's good because it worked out great. I appreciate that explanation, but there's nothing wrong with it. It works out really, really well. And so kind of as we wrap up, is there anything that you had wanted to cover or talk about that we haven't already?
I think a little bit on the topic of allowances, just because that's something I think that's been trial and error in our house a few times.
So before you begin, just to catch everyone up, go back and listen to episodes 20 through 24 of Season 3. You'll get more information about the conversation I had with my wife, Joelle, as well as my discussion with Lindy. But in my household, with my kids, we didn't use a formal allowance system. We never did. And in Lindy's household, she does, especially today, have a pretty evolved, multi-layered allowance program with her 2 kids, and it works really, really great for them. We never did that with Marissa. Dominic is only 13 as of this recording, and we haven't done it with him. We have no plans to do so, so we've done things differently than Lindy. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think Dominic was more interested in an allowance than I ever was. I think I tried it a few times and it never stuck. I remember there were a couple weeks when I was younger where I remember getting some money. I think at an early age I was like, this is not worth it. I think I remember coming up with like a little chore chart or something, and I did a couple chores around the house, and then Mom gave me like $5, and I think I looked at her and I was like, no thanks, I'm going back upstairs. And realizing that I did not like cleaning enough for $5. But I think that we were always taught to do your part around the house, kind of like what you and Mom had said on the podcast. If you do what you have to do, Dad and I will help you out. If you need money to go do something, we're happy to help as long as you're doing your part. And I think for us that always worked well. If Mom or you asked me to do something around the house, while it was not always happily, I think I was pretty good at doing my part. And I think as I've grown up, I've realized that, as long as I respect you guys and I respect your rules and I do my parts and I keep my room clean, I take care of the dog, that if I need something, if I need your guys' help or I need some money, that, you're happy to do it.
So it was never a specific tit-for-tat relationship, but just more of the macro picture that you're part of the family, you're part of the team, there's things that need to get done, and if you're a productive part of the team and you do all the things that the team needs, that it'll be fine. If you need money for a class trip or to go with your friends or to go to a concert, or when it came time buying a vehicle for yourself, all those things that would all work out, but it was never a specific plan.
And I think also the transition from, Lindy said in hers, when she started this allowance with her kids, she said to them, okay, well, I'm not going to be paying for stuff anymore. Now it's you guys if you want to go to the movies, if you want to go. I don't remember the specifics of it, but, we never had that exact transition in our house. I think slowly over time, you guys stopped giving me money to go to the movies. I stopped asking for money to go out to dinner. And I think that it was at least very effective for me to kind of slowly make that transition, weaning off of yours and Mom's money onto my own. I think it helped me understand money. It helped me grow and kind of appreciate the value of a dollar as I slowly transitioned from, you handing me a 20 to go to the movies and me handing you the $5 and change versus me using my 20 to go to movies and then realizing, oh, well, now I'm $15 short. And I think that it happened slowly and it happened over time, but I do think that definitely benefited me.
Awesome. Very good. So you were probably a little nervous because you've never done media like this. I've tried to get you on my radio station that's broadcast locally here in Hartford County, Connecticut. But you did great. You seemed pretty comfortable. Were you nervous or not so much once we got into it a bit?
I was nervous.
Good. Well, you did great. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I'll be back with you on an upcoming episode very soon. But in the meantime, Elliott Wealth Management Services, go to